Most of you guys are bearish, right? I did a poll 2 days ago on this YouTube channel with 1,500 votes. I said, will Bitcoin lose $53,000 first or break $80,000 first? And the majority of you think we'll lose $53,000 first. I tend to agree. I think a break of 80,000 is probably unlikely at this point because in my view, that would be representative of an upside bullish move. And I think that the most Bitcoin can probably muster at this point is a move to the top of the price range rather than actually breaking the price range itself. And I think around 80,000, 83,000, somewhere in that price region, we'd be breaking above our previous lows of our prior consolidation within the ascending channel formation and hence seeing some sort of bullish move. So that's unlikely in my view. Even though I think this move above 80,000-ish is unlikely, I actually do see multiple signs on the short-term and medium-term charts right now showing Bitcoin displaying some strength here. So a bounce to the top of the range at this point is something that would be totally expected. It wouldn't take us by surprise in any means. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm absolutely concretely predicting it, but I'm going to show you some data today that suggests that Bitcoin on a short-term level is showing a little bit more strength than weakness. Before we dive into that, go ahead and check out the Bitunix Exchange. It's a global exchange, it's non-KYC, and it's never been hacked before. All three of those selling points put it ahead of 99% of the competition. I can't think of a single exchange that has all three of those things in one at this point in 2026. So there's a reason I use it personally, and there's a reason I reached out to them for partnership. They didn't reach out to me. I don't sign any contracts with exchanges or anything like that. I advertise them out of my own free will, and they give me a referral link. With that referral link, you can sign up and you'll get a 15% trading fee discount attached to your account for life. You'll be helping out the channel a lot, and you'll be getting access to this great exchange. Use that link down below for that discount and access to the exchange. Appreciate it, guys. Let's dive into the content. I've repeated myself a few times, and I'll continue to do it because it's still relevant at this point. Bitcoin is copying 2022. It's copying 2022 in both structure from moving averages. Okay, we look at something like the 100 exponential moving average, and we can see just like 2022, and by the way, just like 2018 as well, but let's focus on 2022. It kind of held that level as support after the first drop during the bear market, and once we broke that 100 exponential moving average, we dropped downwards massively downwards to a pre-established support region, which in the case of 2022 was $28,000. In this case, that support region, by the way, same structure, same drop, same holding, broke down from the 100, big drop to the downside. In this case, unlike 2022, that pre-established support region is kind of coming from a couple of places. One of them is the 2021 all-time high, vaguely speaking. And one of them is the volume profile, which is spiking all the way down to around 60,000. So there's no exact price region like there was in the case of 2022. There's a few vague levels, and this is what makes the charts at the moment on a short-term level extremely difficult to analyze. Unlike in 2022, and I've touched on this before, unlike in 2022, where $28,000 was clearly the concrete level that Bitcoin was holding, we don't really have that this time, right? We have a vague level at the 2021 all-time high. We have some vague levels as per volume profile, which is what we just mentioned. But basically, we are forced to look at it from a 101 basic TA perspective, which is, okay, well, the low we marked was at 60,000, so maybe 60,000 is the bottom of the range, and maybe if we break below 60,000, we'll be dropping downwards to another pre-established support, which would be something like 53. 53 is where the volume profile levels out for the first time. It's a clear kind of crevice in the volume profile, and Bitcoin would drift towards that region very strongly if we drop below the local range low at 60,000. So basically what I'm saying to you is this. The support region is somewhere around here above 60K. We lose 60K, we go to 53, and the upside level, just as 60K is the local support, the local resistance, the support zone of our prior range is 80,000. Therefore, 80,000 is the top of the range, 60,000 is the bottom of the range. Bitcoin's kind of just lurking in that price region. Obviously, being at 65,000, we're on the bottom side of that price region. And basically, the question is, well, what will we do next? Well, it's important to note before we answer this question, anything Bitcoin does between 80,000 and 60,000 is kind of irrelevant from a macro perspective because this is a price range. Okay, it's a price range within an established bear market trend. The bear market trend is identified via lower highs and lower lows. So we are in a bear market trend, and being in this price range, whether we're up at 79K at the top or we're down at 60K at the bottom, it's still the same range. It's still the same macro trend. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't really mean much. Given the fact it doesn't really mean much, why am I talking about it? Well, I'm talking about it because it matters in the sense of cyclical pacing, all right? I think that Bitcoin's moving too fast to the downside right now. I'm a believer in the 4-year cycle. 4-year cycle is an umbrella trend on Bitcoin. It's existed since 2012, since the first halving, and it suggests that Bitcoin will be bottoming out in October. If Bitcoin's going to be bottoming out in October, and we draw a line for how Bitcoin is moving in terms of its current trajectory, by the time we reach October, at the current trajectory we are moving at, Bitcoin would be reaching a price, kind of a linear chart, that's a better way to look at this. Bitcoin would be reaching a price in October of around negative 25,000, okay? The point is, it's moving way too fast to the downside. Not necessarily a concern because, by the way, Bitcoin always moves way too fast to the downside at the start of the bear markets. That's how it's always happened. We've been 4 months ahead of schedule in prior bear markets, so it's not unexpected, but it is the case. The case is Bitcoin's moving too quickly right now. If it continued at this pace, it'd be reaching negative 25,000 in October, which obviously is impossible. And that doesn't mean the cycle's incorrect, by the way. It just means Bitcoin needs to slow down. And so when I look at the Bitcoin range right now, I'm looking at basically whether Bitcoin has an opportunity to slow down here or whether it's going to do it later. And I think it looks like it may slow down here. I really do. In fact, it's already done so. I've already been correct in that assumption. When we originally dropped downwards to this region, I said Bitcoin would go sideways for at least a month. It's been basically a month now. It's been 3 weeks. But it looks like Bitcoin is still not quite ready to move yet to the downside. Look, Bollinger Bands tell us something. Bollinger Bands on the daily chart on Bitcoin tell us the compression is intense, a move is coming. The question is that an upside move or a downside move? Well, I look at Bitcoin right now. I zoom in to the local price chart, and this is probably the sloppiest short-term analysis I've done in a while. It's because the range is quite sloppy, unfortunately. And what I see is something that looks like a massive descending channel formation. I see that descending channel formation on Bitcoin forming within a period of time in which the weekly chart RSI is at what has been macro lows right now. It's just reached and surpassed 25 on the weekly chart RSI, which is where it reached during its 2022 bear market as the lowest point Bitcoin's ever been. We're there again. So I see this massive spike in the volume profile. I see we're sitting around the 2021 all-time high, holding it vaguely for support. I see the weekly chart RSI reach the lowest level it's ever been, and I see Bitcoin quite substantially ahead of schedule. It does make me think that more ranging, more consolidation is going to be the most likely scenario in this price region, right? Maybe a swing back to the top of the range being around 80,000, another important level being around 74,000, right? And maybe a swing back to one of those levels, another month or so of consolidation before the next drop. That would make quite a lot of sense right now. But the reason why I'm not concrete and definite in this opinion is because it's not mandatory. There's nothing saying it has to happen. There's nothing saying we can't, take advantage of this Bollinger Band compression. Where is it? Where's the indicator? It's right there. It is. There's the Bollinger Band compression. A move's going to be coming shortly. There's nothing saying that move couldn't be downwards to 53,000 and then the consolidation could happen there. It doesn't really matter where the slowing down of Bitcoin price action happens. It doesn't really matter when we get back on schedule and where it happens from. What matters is we do. At this point, it looks like this is a very reasonable place to do so. So what I'm saying in this video is not Bitcoin's certainly going to go upwards again. Bitcoin's certainly going to consolidate more here. It's not going to drop. I'm saying in this price region, there are many indicators lining up to say that Bitcoin is due for more sideways consolidation within this range, and that could look like something like a bounce to $74,000 or $80,000 and holding this support for much longer before we break downwards. It's not certain, it's not a cyclical obligation, but it would make so much sense. So, as I've said in a video a few days ago, which I did on short-term price action, I apologize to people who think that an analyst's job is always to be certain of what the next move is. I'm not certain of what the next move is here, unfortunately. I'm laying out scenarios and I'm putting evidence forward that kind of support those scenarios. I'm telling you what would make sense and what wouldn't. And I'm telling you what needs to happen for something to change. For Bitcoin to look macro bullish again, we need a first step in the right direction, which is a break of $80,000. If we don't break $80,000, we're in the same price range. For Bitcoin to lose this price range, we need to break 60,000. If we lose the price range, we go down to 53K. I can put forward these scenarios very clearly because they make a lot of sense. They're macro-based scenarios. Right now, within this range of 60 to 80, there's nothing macro here. There's no obligation cyclically. It's kind of just no man's land. And we're kind of taking context from different pieces of data and indicators in the charts to try put together a scenario. The most likely scenario right now, in my personal view, is we swing back to the top of this range, we consolidate for longer, we break down in a month or two. But that's not obligated, doesn't really need to happen, so I don't really care if it does or not. I just know if I see it, I'm not going to be the one who gets trapped buying Bitcoin expecting the next bull market, because we'll know exactly what's happening. And all of that goes out the window as soon as we break 60,000 as well. So in tomorrow's video, I'm going to discuss something a bit different, something more relevant from a macro scale. Look, I only really care about what prompts me to buy, and at this point, I'm not buying or selling anything. I've already sold completely out of the market. I'm not looking to buy in this price region at all. I'm looking at the next macro buys, and that's the buys coming at the end of the year as per the cycle. The most important video I've made as of recent is this video pinned on my YouTube channel, how to buy the Bitcoin bear market bottom. I followed up that video a couple of days later with a video on MSTR, MicroStrategy stock, and I'm going to be zooming in on this MSTR video in tomorrow's video and kind of adding some more context and nuance to it because I think that's important as well. So if you enjoyed this video today and you want to see the video coming out tomorrow on MSTR, make sure to subscribe so you can get an update of when it comes out, leave a comment, all of that stuff, and check out the Bitunix Exchange. It's a global exchange, it's non-KYC, and it's never been hacked before. As I've said in the introduction, all three of those things together make it very, very rare. Use my link down below to sign up. You'll get a 15% lifetime trading fee discount. It's the best way you can help out the channel. I post free content here, so show some support by using that link if you're interested. I appreciate it, guys. I'll catch you soon.